Hi everyone, my name is Simon O'Brien and welcome to my new edition of RWBY series. It's going to be Weiss Schnee from RWBY versus Esdeath from Akame Got Killed. Now, first things first, I'll be going into the base stats for both Weiss and Esdeath. I'll be also going into the skill set, weapons, abilities, hacks, trump cards, and then finally who I personally think is going to win. Now, another fourth right here, I will be compositing Esdeath here from the anime and the manga because she's one of the few characters who has a consistent portrayal for both mediums. And yeah, and for Weiss, I will mainly focus on her RWBY canonical appearance and all as of now and all that. So she will grow in power over time as of this video. So I might do another rematch video anytime very soon and all that. Well, until then, it'll be just Weiss as she is right now. So yeah, so let's get started. Now, for strength, let's start with Weiss. Now, Weiss Schnee in RWBY isn't really a strong character, although she does have a couple of strength feats, like she can parry attacks from Nora Valkyrie, Armus Gygus, which is actually a giant suit of armor that she fought in the White trailer, which is really good. And the armor itself is pretty heavy as well, so yeah, and he also wielded a giant sword, so yeah. Weiss is pretty strong in terms of strength. Now, as for speed, speed is Weiss's best stat here. She can actually go at least massively hypersonic to borderline FTL speeds in combat, which makes her very fast. She has outperformed characters like Nora in speed, and even RWBY at one time, I believe, actually should scale to Weiss in terms of speed, evenly matched. And RWBY's massively hypersonic as well, so there's that. And also, Weiss can also fly very fast and all, which I'll get into later on with her semblance. Now, as for durability, Weiss's durability is interesting. She's protected by an aura, which protects her from all means of attacks, although it can be depleted over time if she takes too much damage. But still, Weiss has tanked a lot of stuff, like getting dust exploded in her face. Yeah, it's a pretty insignificant durability feat, although she has tanked hits like Nora Valkyrie smashed her against a wall with her watermelon hammer, and Weiss was knocked out, but she didn't get any complete head injuries or anything severe and all that, so yeah, still good. That's still a good feat. She got punched by Armus Gygus, like the same giant suit of armor she fought, and got knocked back up, and then basically shrugged it off over time, so yeah. Pretty good durability for Weiss there. So there's that. Now, let's go into weapons. Now, Weiss's signature weapon is the Mernaster, and it's a rapier with a 6-chambered revolver mechanism. And what this 6-chamber revolver mechanism does is that it has different colors for different elemental types, like red for fire, yellow for lightning, and blue for ice, which will be Weiss's main source of abilities here, is her ice. And with her ice, right, now we can go into abilities. She can create ice pillars, icicles for projectiles. She can use ice-based attacks that surround her and kill enemies in her path and all that. And she can create ice circles that have like devastating results. Yeah. Weiss is pretty versatile with her Mernaster. And with the Mernaster alone, she is very skilled with the sword. And she uses dancing and graceful sword strikes in combat, and she even outperformed a lot of characters with it, and yeah, it's really cool what she does with the Mernaster. So basically how Weiss fights is basically like dancing around gracefully and with a lot of her skill, although she will get better over time, like she'll get better skill sets with her Mernaster and her abilities with the elemental attacks, so there's that. Now for her semblance. Now, Weiss's semblance is really impressive. She can create glyphs that can help her with her travel speed and combat speed. She can teleport through those glyphs to surprise her opponents and do like devastating combo attacks. And yeah, she's very quick with these glyphs as well, mind you. And she can also use these glyphs to help RWBY boost her speed at one time when she tried to kill a giant bird. So yeah, really impressive. So basically, Weiss is like a support character in terms of abilities. She's very versatile as well, and she's also very, very skilled with her Mernaster. But her weaknesses are pretty simple. She's one of, if not the most fragile character in RWBY. She has been knocked out a lot, and she has lost fights that even had her having the speed advantage. So there's that. So we have a situation here when Weiss has a pretty poor resume in RWBY at this point, though. She will get better over time, though, so yeah. But other than that, though, Weiss is very, very badass for what she is. She is pretty cool, no pun intended, using her ice attacks and all. And is versatile with her elemental control, with fire, ice, lightning, yeah. And yeah, basically, Weiss is a Swiss Army knife in terms of combat. So there you go. Now, let's go into Esdeath. Now, for strength, Esdeath has a couple of strength feats. As a child, she lifted a heavy danger beast that's probably about 800 kilograms over her shoulder. Yeah. Mind you, Esdeath did this casually too. She does this all the time in her child life because in her childhood she lived in the northern tribes, and basically they survived by hunting danger beasts, and Esdeath was carrying these danger beasts casually, like basically on a regular basis. So yeah, Esdeath is already very strong at this point. She also, very casually, like with very little effort, kicked Numaseika's head and splattered all brain matter around her army and all that. Yeah, and this is just a flick of a kick anyway, so yeah, Esdeath does pack a whop in terms of strength and all that. And she can also parry attacks from Susanoo, and Susanoo is the same character in Akame Got Killed that actually parried or blocked an attack from Dr. Stylish's giant trump card, which is the size of a mountain. Yeah, I think we know what the strength gap is like here between Weiss and Esdeath at this point, so there's that. But strength is not what Esdeath's all about. Now we go into speed. Now, Esdeath's speed is legendary. She is massively hypersonic to lightning level or above lightning level. Now, take this into consideration that Esdeath has done a lot of speed feats in Akame Got Killed, and her most impressive speed feat, in my opinion, was she was fighting Akame in the final fight, and at one time, I will get into the durability section for this one as well, Akame touched Esdeath's arm with her Murasame, and Esdeath actually amputated the arm to nullify the curse to go through her body, and Esdeath actually kept up with Akame with just one arm. Okay, now, let me get this straight, okay? Akame is basically lightning level in terms of strength, in speed, and Esdeath was at one arm situation against Akame and still kept up in the fight. That is single-handedly the most badass thing I have ever seen in my life, honestly. That is just so cool. And mind you, Esdeath was not given up without a fight during that fight either, so there's that. And other speed feats for Esdeath is like slicing 3 danger beasts in nanoseconds, and basically surprised Akame a lot during the same fight, but that made Akame go off balance and all that. So yeah, Esdeath's a very, very fast combatant. So there's that. Now, as for durability, now, like I said before, Esdeath had her arm amputated, but she did not even feel that much pain. She kept on fighting onwards and all that. And other durability feats was that Esdeath has tanked an attack that vaporizes human flesh, and she no-sold it. Yeah, that's actually a very impressive durability feat there. And she also endured a sound-based attack that actually pulverizes human bones, and Esdeath shrugged it off. Yep, that's pretty good there. And another thing for Esdeath in terms of durability, she took a punch from Tatsumi's Incursio 2 armor, and this is the same armor that actually set a giant mech the size of a mountain flying. So, yeah. I'd say Esdeath is possibly mountain level in terms of durability. Yeah, she's very, very, very tough. So there's that. But stats is not what all Esdeath is. Now, let's go into weapons. Now, this is interesting here because Esdeath's weapons are conjured, but she does use a rapier. But this rapier is basically just like a normal rapier, although it has done, has parried attacks from Akame and Susanoo, though. So it is a very strong rapier. But the main weapon for Esdeath here is a Demon Extract. But the Demon Extract is not actually a weapon. It's actually a Taigu, or Imperial Arms, that is the blood of a legendary danger beast that Esdeath drinks from a goblet. And it drives her insane. But thanks to her willpower and her mindset, she eventually mastered it and controlled it. So it allows her to control ice. Now, with the ice manipulation that Esdeath has, she has a lot of ice-based feats for this. She froze an entire lake in about 8 to 10 seconds, and her army crossed it with no signs of the ice cracking at all. So this is actually very, very big here, because the density of the ice, it basically increased per second. So for Esdeath to achieve that, that is actually very, very impressive. Then other ice-based feats is like Weiss Schnee, which she actually conjures icicles in midair, and they can basically shoot at her opponents at will for long-range capabilities. And Esdeath did this to these two danger beasts that were the size of mountains, and they were about possibly 20,000 tons in terms of weight. Yeah, and these icicles are pretty big too, so they're huge. She also has Hagelsprung that actually makes like a giant ball, I believe, and Esdeath crushed these mountain-sized giants with Hagelsprung, and the ball itself is like the size of a football field. Yeah, Esdeath is a real monster in terms of conjuring ice. She also has Growlhorn that actually makes her conjure horns of ice that actually attack her opponent. It's like spikes, ice spikes, and she used it against Akame, and Akame was off guard for a couple of moments, and Akame can react to lightning-based attacks, so yeah, there's that. Then other ice-based abilities for Esdeath, she can conjure ice swords and ice daggers, and ice barriers that are strong enough to withstand attacks from Akame and Susanoo. And she can also has a lot of ice-based attacks that involve her creating walls of ice that shatter completely with a thought, and she can also create create ice around enemies and freeze them in space in about a couple of seconds and all that with just a hand gesture. Yeah, and she even throws entire armies with her ice as well. So yeah, very devastating indeed. Now for her trump cards. Now, Esdeath's interesting here because unlike most characters of the Akame ga Kill, she has 3 main trump cards. There is one called Commander-in-Chief that she throws an entire continent of most of the capital, and it basically turned the entire empire into like a winter state season. So yeah, that's very powerful. It's basically country level. She can also create ice centaurs in combat, although this takes time, but it is worth mentioning here because it allows Esdeath to replenish her numbers of army soldiers in combat, so there's that. So basically they're like a last resort in terms of a battlefield tactics, so there's that. But by far her best trump card is Mahatma. Now, what is Mahatma, you ask? Well, this is actually a time stop that Esdeath uses to finish off her opponent, and it's basically like Jotaro Kujo's The World, but except it can last longer. Yeah, it's possibly about 10 minutes long this time. I mean, not 10 minutes, 10 seconds long, but Esdeath has plenty of time to finish off her opponent in Mahatma and all that. It freezes everything in space except for Esdeath herself, so there's that. So yeah, Mahatma is basically the most OP ability in Akame ga Kill, really. So there's that. So there you go. Now, for weaknesses, Esdeath doesn't really have a lot of exploitable weaknesses here. She's basically human. I mean, like, she can get killed by normal means of attacks if one is lucky enough. And should anyone be immune or actually counter her ice-based attacks, theoretically, Esdeath is at a disadvantage. But still, Esdeath isn't all just about ice-based attacks. She's also very skilled as well. She's actually a general and has been training in the Empire all her life, since teenagehood, I'd say. There you go. And yeah, she has done a lot of stuff in terms of skill, like great swordsmanship and all that. She rivals Akame in terms of skill, actually surpasses her in my opinion. Oh, there's that. So yeah, there you go. So basically, Esdeath is a legit badass, one of my favorite characters of all time, and she's also possibly my favorite ice user in fiction, just like Weiss Schnee. So there's that. So, who I personally think is going to win between Weiss Schnee and Esdeath? Now, I have to be honest here, this is actually a really amazing fight to behold, but unfortunately, it's not very close. As you would have known by now, I don't think Weiss has any sort of way to beat Esdeath here. I mean, Esdeath has, in my opinion, beaten Weiss in virtually every other category aside from having more elemental control, whereas Esdeath's basically ice exclusive, whereas Weiss can be like fire, lightning, wind, and gravity and all that. But that's basically it for Weiss. Esdeath's stats are just way above Weiss. Even as a child, Esdeath has lifted heavy danger beasts, and these danger beasts are heavier than anything that Weiss has lifted in her entire life. And just imagine the strength gap now between Esdeath and Weiss now that Esdeath is an adult. Yeah, this is basically not really a close fight. In terms of skill, Esdeath has Weiss beat again. She has way more experience than Weiss. She's older. She has taken on more powerful characters and has more experience in combat, being a general. And yeah, and the scope of Esdeath's power is just too much for Weiss. I mean, Weiss' best abilities are like large building level to multi-building level, whereas Esdeath is basically country level, and her casual abilities are mountain level. Like I said, with the Weiss Schnee icicle attacks, they held back a giant that was the size of a mountain. So yeah. So basically, Esdeath basically has like a 99.9% chance of winning. Although Weiss will pull up a really good fight. She will try harder and all that. But eventually, she will get more powerful as of this video. So depending on how they treat Weiss over time in RWBY, she might get better stats and better abilities. But as of now, I think she doesn't have any chance to beat Esdeath at all. And I haven't even mentioned Mahadama, where it was just Esdeath would just freeze time and basically stab Weiss in the brain or in the heart and basically end the fight there. It can even bypass Weiss's aura because Weiss's aura isn't as durable as Yang's or nor Valkyrie's, and she has been knocked out a lot. And Weiss herself, her best speed stat here is basically outclassed by Esdeath, who is actually lightning level anyway. So and even if Weiss had the better speed stat over Esdeath, she has lost to characters that she are faster than her anyway, so there's that. So that's basically it. So basically Weiss is at a huge disadvantage against Esdeath as of now. So there you go. So, in my honest opinion, the winner is Esdeath. So thank you guys for watching this video. I absolutely love this matchup, even though it's one-sided. It's one of the few times when I actually enjoyed researching both Weiss Schnee and Esdeath, especially Weiss Schnee. I mean, I absolutely love Weiss Schnee a lot, and as for Esdeath, I absolutely love Esdeath as well. So basically, you get the idea. I love them evenly. So there's that. So that concludes my first season of Who Will Win series, and I want to thank you guys for watching this series. It's been a joy to make these videos. Now, we'll be starting season 2 in a couple of months, and I will say the season premiere for season 2 will be Lara Croft from Tomb Raider versus Jill Valentine from Resident Evil. And I gotta say, for first thoughts, I absolutely love this matchup. I'd say this is a lot closer than Weiss versus Esdeath, although I think one character still edges out in the long run. So there you go. So anyways, thank you guys for watching.